Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Natalia Moczulska and this is the news. Today is Barburka, the miners' holiday in Poland. The holiday of all miners falls on the 4th of December, and the name of this holiday refers to Saint Barbara, the patron saint of the entire mining brotherhood. It is a holiday of all miners, regardless of the function or position they hold. On the occasion of this special holiday, we wish all miners our best wishes. Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, in a letter addressed to miners, thanked them for their special effort in times of crisis. The Prime Minister noted that economic changes in Silesia will not be carried out at the expense of ordinary people. I would like to express my sincere thanks to the Polish mining group for rising to the occasion at this difficult time by taking the necessary steps to increase production and sales of fuel coal for the municipal and utility sectors. I am grateful for your responsibility and commitment to this issue. With this attitude, we can effectively strive for the energy security of our homeland. Today's mining holiday was also addressed by Solidarity Chairman Piotr Duda. I wish the entire mining industry a wise state energy policy based on Polish natural resources, rejecting the EU's climate religion, which is destroying Polish mining and the Polish economy. This threatens not only jobs in the mining industry itself, but also in the industry whose main cost is energy. Former Prime Minister Beata Szydło also sent her wishes. The work of Polish miners ensures Poland's energy and economic security. It has been that way for decades, and it is that way now. To all miners and their families, God bless. The war in Ukraine has shown like nothing else that coal is needed all the time. Germany, which has loudly called for a shift to renewable energy sources, decided to return to coal when cut off from Russian gas. Yesterday, the EU Council announced that it had set the price limit for Russian oil at $60 per barrel, the same limit agreed to by the G7 countries in Australia. Poland proposed a level of $30. President Zelensky believes that our proposal was better because the $60 level is still too comfortable and convenient for Russia. Meanwhile, as Bloomberg reported today, an analysis of the satellite images shows that Russia has robbed Ukraine of nearly $1 billion in grain. The Russian Federation is among the world leaders when it comes to oil production. After the aggression against Ukraine, prices of this commodity exceeded $100 per barrel, which translated into additional profit in the Kremlin's budget. The limit of $60 per barrel for oil transported by sea has met with criticism from the Ukrainian government, which believes it should be half that at $30. No one would call it a serious decision to set such a limit for Russian prices, which is quite convenient for the budget of a terrorist state. The Russians continue to fire, targeting Ukrainian civilian infrastructure. In the last 24 hours alone, there have been 46 attacks on Kherson, which was liberated a few weeks ago. The Russians have used both artillery, shells fired from tanks, mortars, or rocket launchers. One person was killed, and there were also injuries.
It is the cause of NATO.
The Ukrainian Navy has reported the use of banned chemical weapons by the Russian military, which allegedly was to occur in the east of the country. Soviet K-51 tear gas grenades were to be used against the fighting Ukrainians. Fierce fighting is currently underway near Bakhmut. Media reported that 5 Georgians fighting on the Ukrainian side were killed during the 10-hour battle. Ukraine is reinforcing its forces in the Lugansk and Kharkiv regions. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported that since the beginning of the war, Russia has lost a total of more than 2,900 tanks, nearly 5,900 armored combat vehicles, and 210 air defense systems. Volodymyr Zelensky thanked those fighting in the areas where the heaviest fighting is being carried out against the Russians. In the Donetsk region, in the area of Bakhmut, Soledar, now as before, the situation is the fiercest and very acute for us. We are doing everything to support our people, our heroes who are defending themselves there. They all deserve our gratitude. Russia, occupying Ukraine's territory and its farmlands, has plundered nearly 6 million tons of wheat. Ukraine's losses from this alone reached $1 billion. These figures were compiled from satellite images obtained by NASA's food security program. In contrast, the first ship of wheat that Ukraine sent as part of its humanitarian food program arrived in Ethiopia yesterday. U.S. military vehicles disembarked from a ship in the Polish port of Gdynia this Saturday in a regular rotation of equipment and personnel deployed on NATO's eastern flank. The vehicles were among some 2,400 that arrived in Poland and Greece over the past month from the U.S. Army's 1st Infantry Division, 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team stationed in Kansas, the Army said in a press release. U.S. Colonel Brian Harris said personnel working with the Dagger Brigade had spent months preparing for the deployment and were looking forward to working with their Polish counterparts.
The Dagger team is very excited to be here. We've done a lot of training over the last 6 months. The team has gone to the National Training Center twice in the last year to get ready for this exciting opportunity to work alongside our Polish allies. So we have tanks, Bradleys that carry infantry squads. We have Paladins that are the field artillery for the mounted formations. And then we have an assortment of other vehicles that enable the combined arms team of the Daggers that allows us to do our operations.
The deployment is part of Atlantic Resolve, which the U.S. Army Europe says shows U.S. commitment to NATO while building readiness, increasing interoperability, and enhancing the bonds between ally and partner militaries. Immediately after Russia invaded Ukraine in February, NATO dispatched additional troops, ships, and jets to the alliance's eastern front, in particular to the Baltics, and placed some 40,000 troops under direct NATO command. And finally, yesterday evening, Bethlehem illuminated a giant Christmas tree outside the city's Church of the Nativity. Our message from the municipality of Bethlehem to the whole world is that the spirit of Christmas should bring us together, bring us peace, and push us to work together for the city and our country. The Palestinian city in the Israeli-occupied West Bank, which is the biblical birthplace of Jesus, was all but closed for the last 2 Christmas seasons, losing its peak tourist season to the pandemic. However, this year many people gathered to see the giant tree on Manger Square, as it was lit up with hundreds of colored lights as red, white, and green fireworks illuminated the night sky. The atmosphere is beautiful. The municipality thankfully decorated the city. There will be events for children as well, but unfortunately the political situation usually affects the celebrations here in Bethlehem. Though we live in a bad situation, Bethlehem for the first days of December starts to bring us joy and a joyful holiday season, and Christmas is here. Though we have occupation, we still know how to enjoy life. Palestinian tourism minister Rula Maya told Reuters she hopes more and more tourists will visit the city over the course of the Christmas season.
This year was the first year after COVID that we started receiving tourists from all over the world. We started receiving quite good numbers of tourists since March this year, and we expected the numbers to be more and more till the end of the year.
While grateful for the return of some foreign tourists and Christian Palestinians, numbers are still a far cry from the 3.5 million visitors who came to Bethlehem in winter 2019, just before the pandemic.
I think I felt a little bit confused because of so many nationalities from all around the world, which is great. But once you get closer and you touch that place, which are so extraordinary for us Christians, and Catholics especially, it's like heaven. It's warming the heart.
It's very special to be in places that I have only read about in the Bible and heard about, and it's almost unbelievable to be here in this beautiful place and with these beautiful people here.
The main attractions in Bethlehem are the 4th century Church of the Nativity, built over a grotto where Christian tradition says Jesus was born, and the 16-meter or 52-foot Christmas tree in Manger Square. The Christmas season offers measured cheer for Palestinians in the city, which is separated from nearby Jerusalem by a towering Israeli concrete military barrier. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Please stay tuned for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and some of our other programs. But for me, have a great Sunday night.